Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way to 11,100 subscribers, and if you could click that like button, I would be incredibly grateful. It's a Friday evening. Spread the joy. It's not only a Friday evening. The transfer window is opened. Euro 2024 kicks off in 90 minutes time, and we will be there. Early call. I will be live on TIFO pretty much straight after this stream for the watch along of Germany versus Scotland. TIFO is a brand new streaming platform built for football watch alongs. They've had loads of new improvements for those of you that have already joined. Make sure to use the code Rory, RORY, full caps, if you're new to signing up. It's completely free. It's basically just this, only better. So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. There are some interesting transfer rumours knocking around today. Team News and Ticks has been talking. David Ornstein has mentioned Reiss Nelson, which is quite interesting. And there's a fair bit more as well. So we'll get into it. But it is good to see so many of you here on a Friday evening. Jakob, Mohammed, Anu Brata, Pekka, Hyper, Raz, Icarus, Vivi Vlad, John, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Jacob, Emilio Yoyoyoy, Fizzy, Luke, Saliba, Leeds Gunner, Chow Tao, Jacob Woods, Smalt, Oslo Guna, Kazanex, Hannah, Ross Lawman, Magnus, Carter, Jake, Floki, Anchor, and many, many more. It is good to see you. Window open for a day and no signings yet. Arteta out. I know. Slow start to the window. Nelson for 20 mil is kind of low in my opinion, but I see why. Now that you mentioned it, we will start there. This came from David Ornstein today, so obviously very reliable. Reiss Nelson has informed Arsenal he wants to assess his options for a transfer this summer. The club would be looking for about 20 million, including add-ons, if they were to let him leave, with Crystal Palace, Fulham, Nottingham Forest and West Ham among the teams interested in the player. So, the sorts of clubs that you would expect to be interested in him, kind of mid-table clubs, effectively. I would imagine if he wants to stay in London, Palace, Fulham, West Ham all look like decent options for him. And you can't blame him for wanting to leave. And obviously, he blamed, clearly he feels like he's not had enough game time, which is completely fair enough. Interestingly, David Ornstein also said that Arsenal had actually, there had been teams approached Arsenal in January for Reiss Nelson, and we rejected them when they approached in January. So I find that in itself quite interesting. Obviously, we don't know what it was that they were approaching about. Maybe they were only approaching for loans and we didn't want to do that. But since January, he played 155 minutes for Arsenal total. And just under half of those minutes were against Luton, right? So other than that Luton game that he started, he played less than a full 90 minutes. They were just substitute appearances here and there for like 10 minutes. But ultimately, it probably wasn't worth it. In terms of 20 million, including add-ons, I think that's probably fair. Which is a shame. It is a shame, but, he wasn't starting for us last season. We want to go and get another winger this summer. He's not going to play for us next season. If Duran can get 40, we can get 20 for Reiss. Yeah, you'd hope so. You would hope so. I don't think Duran's worth 40, but you would think that 20 should be fine. The only thing is, if that includes add-ons, what are those add-ons? 40 million plus Nelson for Elise? I hear it. Or if West Ham are interested, 30 million plus Reiss Nelson for Kudus. Or 40 million plus Reiss Nelson for Kudus. 70 million plus Reiss Nelson for Kudus, to be quite honest with you. Maybe. 20 million. 20 million for Nelson, 35 for Smith Rowe and 35 for Ramsdale. I think you probably need to pull Smith Rowe and Ramsdale down by about 5 million each, though. Kudus or Elise? Kudus for me. Kudus season Twitter accounts incoming. At least we should get the final payment for Leno this summer. Yeah, we'll finally make our final couple of million on Leno. You'll have to see it. But yeah, so that's the Reiss Nelson one. And look, I think there are quite a few players that are in the same boat as Reiss Nelson. Eddie Nketiah is in the same boat, I'd imagine. And these things will slowly keep coming out. Obviously, that's come from Ornstein, so we know that it is legitimate. Nice to see us offloading injury-prone players. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think being injury-prone was his biggest issue. I just don't think Arteta trusted him or the way he plays enough. At least we signed Reiss and Eddie up to new contracts. Could have lost them for free. True. If Arsenal re-signed Cedric, what would you do? I don't know. It would be the sort of video you've not seen from me before. I'm usually quite calm and collected, but I would probably lose it. I think Reiss Nelson would cook with regular playing time. Same, but I just don't think he's. The truth is, I just don't think he is actually at Arsenal's level. I think he is a good player. I don't think he's at Arsenal's level. No one will pay that much for a goalkeeper that hasn't played all season. You'd be surprised though, considering last summer when he had been playing, he was worth comfortably over 50 million. Has his value really dropped by that much just because of not playing? I'm not so sure. Another thing that came out today, this came from Chris Wheatley. A name that was mentioned to me a few weeks ago was Jean-Claire Todibo from Nice. He's really sought after. Manchester United have been the main name linked with him, but interestingly, I heard he was above other players on Arsenal's shortlist. So Jean-Claire Todibo from Nice. And I think this is an interesting one. I do think this is an interesting one. And in fact, we'll bring him up. We will bring Todibo up. He's in the French setup. Here we go. 24 years old, prime age. 190 centimeters. What's that? 6'3"? Is that 6'3"? 6'2"? Love this. Very, very comfortable on the ball. Started 30 games last season for Nice. Sent off once. Not the end of the world. Obviously, shooting doesn't matter. This, 90% pass accuracy. Hello. With a lot of passes per game as well. That, you can work on that. We don't play that many long balls anyway, right? You don't really often see Gabriel or Saliba trying to play long ball. Successful dribbler of the ball. Now, this doesn't look great, right? This doesn't look great. But this is one of those ones where you can't always just look at the stats. Because this is not greenery, right? This isn't the sort of greenery we like. Now, I like that. Recoveries, I like that. This isn't great, but it's actually not bad. He was very bad at Benfica. When was he at Benfica? How long has he been at Nice for? When was he at Benfica? Are you thinking about the same person, Francisco? This doesn't look like he's ever been at Benfica. I don't know. But look, I think it's an interesting option. To be honest, I've not seen a huge amount of him play. I don't watch much of Ligue 1 at all. But he was on loan from Barca. Oh, fair. But it's an interesting option. I have heard a lot of Manchester United fans and tacticos and stuff talking about him. So interesting. We'll see. It's the first time we've been linked to him at all. So it's interesting that it's come from Chris Wheatley. And he claims that Todibo's higher on the list than other centre-backs. So we'll see. Rambo got bought for 20 million directly after being relegated twice. So he should be a no-brainer for 40 million. I agree. I don't think he will go for 40 million, but I can't stand Todibo. Been hearing Goldbridge say it all year. Yeah, fair. Can you compare him to Saliba? Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? This is where you can't always look at the stats because, again, Saliba's, they're decent. So he's a bit shorter than Saliba. But if you actually look at Saliba's stats, again, Saliba's pass accuracy, unbelievable, right? Very, very, very good. Come down here, it's pretty similar. The only big difference, I'd say, is winning possession in the final third. But that just depends on how high a line Nice play. So again, These are pretty similar to Tadebo's. It's the style of defending, right? So yeah, it's pretty similar. I'm not saying he's on a par with Saliba. The last two centre backs we signed from Ligue 1 turned out pretty well. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He doesn't need to be a world beater, just at a decent level to come in and replace if needed. Yeah, exactly. Look, that is a great point. Realistically, any defender in the world pretty much is going to look at Arsenal centre-back pairing of Gabriel and Saliba and go, well, I'm not getting in there. So if I'm going to be the backup, right? So you've either got to go really young, which is where you look at someone like Diamande, or you've got to go for someone that wants to improve that. Tadebo going from Nice to Arsenal would be huge for him. The drawback would be he probably wouldn't be a starter, at least not to begin with. All our fullbacks can play at centre back. They can. It just shows that stats are useless without context. Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I think there are some stats that I do think are across the board are just important, right? There are some stats where really it doesn't matter who you play for or how your team plays. Those stats should be good. But a lot of the stats, yeah, it's contextually. It's how your team plays. We need competition, not backups. Yeah, but okay, I agree to an extent, right? Good luck finding competition for Saliba. Good luck finding someone that is competition for Saliba that would want to go to a club where he would be competing with Saliba. Because if you're good enough to be competition for Saliba, you walk into pretty much any other team on the planet. And if you walk into pretty much any other team on the planet, you could go to a team that will probably win things and you'll be a guaranteed starter. It's incredibly difficult to do. When people say that, they don't consider that someone has to agree to that role. Yeah, exactly. It's the same with Saka. It's why we will always find it very, very difficult to get someone that's close enough to Saka's level that they can step up if Saka gets injured, but willing to effectively hold the bench for Saka for most of the season. Interesting if Tadebo is legit, as he's not that versatile of a player, which is all we've been linked to. True. I think we could go for I think there's room for a centre-back, almost a central centre-back that could do Gabriel and Saliba's role. Either one of them. Because we don't have that. And really, I don't think we have a Saliba backup. I think a Gabriel injury is easier to cover than a Saliba injury. He's on the list, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Saliba and Gabby aren't starting 50-plus games. He'd still play. I mean, Saliba literally played every minute of this season, and Gabriel probably would have done if it wasn't for the weird start and then the injury at the end. So, if you look at Arteta's history of rotating players, he doesn't really do it. Now, Arteta could sell to them that he's going to, once he gets players that are good enough, he will rotate more. But their evidence so far is that Arteta doesn't really rotate. Have we heard about the Gabriel injury? I think he's fine. He's been training with Brazil, I'm pretty sure. On the backup conversation, Alex made a great point about how we don't need a perfect Saka backup because it literally isn't possible. Who is Liverpool's perfect Salah backup? Who is Haaland's? No, it's a fair point. But they do still have... I mean, City don't have a profile that's similar to Haaland. Salah... Yeah, I mean, they've tried it. I mean, sometimes they use Harvey Elliott, but it's a fair point. But I think you at least need a left-footed winger, another left-footed winger, because Saka is the only one that we've got. Heading out to start the weekend, right? Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. But Team News and Ticks was talking today as well. So Team News and Ticks was talking to what's his name? Charles Watts on his YouTube channel. So he's mentioned a few players. On Ivan Toney, Team News and Tick says, or specifically on why the links to Ivan Toney have gone quiet. He said they don't like him. They met him and they do not like him. When he signed with his agency in August last year, they said, "What do you want?" And he said that he wants to get back to playing, get back in the England squad and move to a big club, preferably Arsenal. He saw himself fitting in as the number 9 at Arsenal. He thought that he would get a ton of goals and he thought he would suit the system. They met him and they purely did not like him. With Toney, there is stacks of evidence of a personality that you'd imagine Arteta didn't want around the squad. So, yeah, when it came to Ivan Toney, not even a case of what he can do on the pitch, a case of Arteta didn't want him at the club, most likely, or the club didn't want him at the club, which I think is understandable. I think it's understandable. I think he does often come across. And look, some people can come across badly when they mean no harm, but I do just think he's never really seemed like he's got the right kind of mindset for Arsenal. And honestly, based on his form, even taking that out of it, I don't want Toney the player right now. I don't want Toney the player. I think he's going to end up at either Spurs or Manchester United. I saw links to Man United to him today. No problem. No problem. I don't think he'd be good for us. So that's Ivan Toney. João Neves. Arsenal were scouting João Neves for a long time remotely, looking at the data. And since February, they have been at every game. The way scouting tends to work, it has to be quite far down the line for them to send people to watch them. So this is interesting. There is genuine interest clearly in João Neves because since February, we've sent people out to watch every single one of his games. And you only do that with players that you have a genuine interest in. They are Team News and Ticks continued. They are serious. I can't say anything in terms of whether or not we're directly speaking to him. I'm not saying it isn't happening, but if it is, I don't know about it. And I highly doubt it's happening right now. In terms of the scouting, they've gone to the highest level possible. So that is an interesting one. Again, I don't think that we'd pay the money for it. I don't think we'd go and pay 120 million. But maybe later in the window, that asking price comes down. So one to keep an eye on, because clearly we've put a lot of effort into scouting him. Clearly he is of interest. I just think 120 million euro release clause is too much. Do you ever see us paying that release clause even next season? Probably not. Probably not. I don't really see Arsenal doing release clauses. There's no perfect backup for a world-class player. Yeah. Portuguese teams' players are all expensive. Yeah, they are, but I think you can wait it out. You can wait it out. It's the same thing with Gyökeres. Sporting are desperate not to lose Gyökeres unless they get a crazy price for him, which I think is why we've stopped seeing as many links from Arsenal to him. Did you see Goldbridge saying Man United could afford 120 million for Neves? I didn't see that. So hang on. So United could afford 120 million for Neves, but today Manchester United put a bid in for Jared Branthwaite, right? They put a bid in for Jared Branthwaite. Now bear in mind, Everton want 70 million for him. Manchester United bid 35 million for Jared Branthwaite. Now, not only is that hilarious because it's literally half the price of what Everton want. I'm not saying what Everton want is what he should go for. But also, that is that 35 million, I believe, is less than they were willing to accept for Scott McTominay last summer. That is less than they were willing to accept for Scott McTominay last summer. That is an insult to Everton. That is an insult to Jared Branthwaite. And if I was Everton, I would say, we are no longer talking to you. Move on. Because 35 million is an absolute disgrace. Moyes claims Reiss is worth more than what we paid. Yeah, he said that all along. All along, Moyes said Declan Rice was worth way more than what we paid for him. We got flamed when we bid 80 for Rice. Yeah, exactly. By Man United fans. It's ridiculous. That is humiliating. I think they're not broke. Broke's a stupid word to use for United, but I don't think United can spend much this summer. So the idea that they'd spend 120 million on João Neves is absolutely obscene. Absolutely obscene. The final thing that Team News and Tick said, He said, I don't think Arsenal will sign a number 9. When I was given our list of targets at the start of the year, the only number 9 on the list was Isak, and that was seen as very unlikely. And it was also noted that he was a player that could play out wide. So I don't know what to make of that, because I'm sure, like he's saying, when he was given a list of targets at the start of the year and that Isak was the only number 9 on it. But I'm sure Team News and Ticks more recently has spoken, like he was definitely talking about various strikers that Arsenal were interested in. So I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, it may well be either Isak or nothing, basically. And I think Isak is incredibly unlikely. So no striker this summer, potentially. Now, obviously, just because, he wasn't a target, none of them were a target at the start of the year. I mean, if that was the start of the year, Gyökeres had an unbelievable, the whole season was unbelievable, but that probably only became more and more noticeable as the season went on. So we'll see. But I just want Gyökeres. I did see there were some Ben Jacobs said under no circumstances is Isak going to leave. Yeah, I don't think he'll leave. Team News and Ticks just waffles. And he doesn't. He definitely has sources. I'm more skeptical now that he's making money off it, now that he uses a Patreon, because there's now a requirement on him to have information, which there wasn't before. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you could click subscribe if you're not already, and click the like button. If we can get to 100 likes, I'd be incredibly grateful. So if you look at where we are on the likes and we're not on 100 likes, please do click the like button. I feel like Gyökeres is going to be like Nunez and Gonzalo Ramos. No, sir. No. Absolutely not. He's far better. Didn't he link us to Osimhen too? He did, but to be fair, he also said that he said he hadn't heard Osimhen's name being mentioned since like October or November. He said that was the last time Arsenal were genuinely interested. So, what do you think of the youngster from Chelsea that Fabrizio reported on? I'm not. Oh, the one we spoke about, Makadu. I've not really seen him play. I was saying there's a Chelsea fan called Felix Johnson on Twitter that I follow. He watches a lot of the Chelsea Academy stuff, and he spoke highly of Makadu, so that could be a good one. Would you rather get a 6 or an 8? Meaning, where do you want Reiss playing? Don't mind. I said this from the start. Reiss can play either. Reiss can legitimately play either. So whatever the best option that comes up during the summer is, whether that's a 6 or an 8, you buy the best option, and then you move Reiss accordingly, because he really can do both. So I think that's the easiest way to do it. See the new Palace kits? Yeah, well, I saw the home kit. It's a bit... the new Palace home kit's a bit wild. It's like the blue part of it looks like the lining you'd have on a paddling pool. It's a bit raucous. Gyökeres doesn't rely on pace, and in my opinion, that's a good thing. In lower leagues, speed merchants can be seen as better than they are, like Nunez. I agree. I do agree. Company, Alonso, and Sahin feeling really old now. Yeah, I mean, I forgot about Nuri Sahin. Are the teams out? Are the teams out for Germany versus Scotland? Are these the actual lineups? Can anyone confirm if these are the actual lineups? If they are, Neuer, Kimmich, Rudiger, Tah, Mittelstadt, Andrich, Toni Kroos, Musiala, Gundogan, Wirtz, and Havertz. If that is the team, me gusta. I like it. I really like that team. I think that's a very good team. I would have had Pavlovic instead of Andrich, but apparently he's injured. So, no. What's wrong with Pavlovic? No, he got tonsillitis. Pavlovic got tonsillitis. Oh, that's predicted. It says predicted there. The front four's all midfielders. Yeah, but they are quality. Apparently, this might not actually be the lineup. So, we'll come back to it. It's the predicted lineup. We'll come back to it. Hopefully, that is the lineup, though. That front four of Wirtz, Gundogan, Musiala, Havertz, That's a tasty front four. The only thing I slightly worry about is Andrick and Kroos behind it. But are you doing fantasy football for the Euros? I am. There is a. You'll have to scroll back on my Twitter now. I have got a fantasy football league on the Euros app. So if you want to join it, I tweeted out the league to it a couple of days ago. The link to it, rather, a couple of days ago. Is Sane in the squad? He's in the squad. I don't know if he's in the starting lineup. Team News and Ticks literally did a top 3 or top 5 signings for major positions in the squad. So saying only Isak is the only 9 on the list makes this post a bit sus. Yeah. I see what you mean. Full Krug should start. He's quality. Yeah, but he's not Kai Havertz. I actually agree. I don't agree that he should start because of Havertz, but I do think Full Krug is very, very good. Do you think we've got any chance of keeping Cheeto? I've been spamming his IG comments. Keep up the good work, Jake. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I think we can keep him. I do think we can keep him. I think some of it was agent talk. I think it was his agent trying to force Arsenal to give him a better deal by leaking it that Bayern are going to get him. I think that feels like a little bit of... There was no news from the other side. There was no news from the German side, basically. Which makes it feel like it was a bit of a cheeky one from the agent trying to get more money for him. Germany sold. They should be starting Mustafi today. Imagine. Now, Rudiger and Tar, that is a quality centre-back pairing. Did you see the football Terrace video about the Crystal Palace sponsors? Your video was featured in it. I haven't seen the Football Terrace video, no, but it's quite crazy. The whole Palace thing's quite crazy, but other teams have done it before. Man City have done it before with with what it was called, Atex Bet. Do you think Arteta will actually play Nwaneri? I do. Has Cheeto got the same agent that Eddie Balogun, Saka, and the rest of them have? Yes, I believe so. I think he's got the same agent. Got a sneaky feeling Arsenal sign Kimmich this summer? I'd take it. I would take Joshua Kimmich at Arsenal 100%. 100% I would take him. He is available. Apparently both him and Goretzka are available from mine. So, yeah, I would take it. I can't see it as anything other than fraud or money laundering. Well, it's just a way of getting a sponsorship without actually going out and finding a real sponsor. Like a real sponsor, they actually have to agree to pay whatever it is that they want to pay. What a summer we have. 16-year-olds really shouldn't have agents. Yeah, but if they don't have agents, then, like, what do they do? The issue is if they don't have agents, then it's what? Their parents have to do it. If their parents don't understand the football landscape or what's best for them, it's an impossible world, right? Because ultimately you've got 16-year-olds that are insanely valuable assets. They don't know how it works. Their families probably don't know how it works. So the best person placed to know how it works is probably an agent. But then, does the agent have the best interests of the kid at heart? It's difficult. The FootMob predicted lineup was correct. Here we go. So apparently this is the correct lineup. So on the Scotland side, you've got Gunn in goal, Ralston, Porteous, Hendry, Kieran Tierney, Andy Robertson, John McGann, Scott McTominay, McGregor, Christie, and Che Adams. It's not a great team, is it? It's not a great team. Beg John McGann. Yeah, I think Germany are going to win. Germany, I mean, I've put a bet on Germany to win the whole thing and Kai Havertz to be top scorer. I'm going to make some good money off that. Lorraine at Berlin on ITV. What's going on? I've got no idea. We'll be live on Tifo. In about half an hour. So make sure you click the link in the description to take you to Tifo. Get involved. Honestly, there's lots of things coming to Tifo that I can't talk about. A lot of them should be here by the start of next season, like the Premier League next season. It's going to be so good. Tom Garrett will be rooting for Scotland today, thanks to your sweepstake. He will be. He will be. I'm rooting for Germany. I got Germany in my sweepstake. I mean, there's nothing on the line. But I'm rooting for Germany. Anyway, look, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards, because we are starting now. Clue number 1. This player is 41 years old. Clue number 1. This player is 41 years old. Clue number 2. They won the FA Cup with Arsenal in 2014. Clue number 2. They won the FA Cup with Arsenal in 2014. Clue number 3. They won Ligue 1 3 times with Lyon. Clue number 3. They won Ligue 1 3 times with Lyon. Clue number 4. They made just 4 appearances for Arsenal. Clue number 4. They made just 4 appearances for Arsenal. And clue number 5. They arrived at Arsenal on loan from Spartak Moscow with a broken back. Clue number 5. They arrived at Arsenal on loan from Spartak Moscow with a broken back. Who is the player? Because we've got John McGinn. I'm Robbo on the wing. Yeah, we're not Argentina. Right. People were struggling. It was a cheeky one. Who was first? It's VV Vlad. It is VV Vlad back on top. The GOAT of Guess the Gooner. It was indeed Kim Kallstrom. VV Vlad was first. Kazanex was second. Osama was third. Ross Lawman was fourth. And James Bidder was fifth. There you go. He's barely a Gooner. He wore the shirt. He put the badge on. It's Kim Kallstrom. James Bidder wants VAR. James Bidder wants a VAR check. Ryan Henderson says goal given. James, you're gonna have to be. Oh no, he just wanted VAR for himself. You were fifth, James. No VAR. VAR check. Goal given. I'm actually excited is so not the word. I'm interested to see how VAR operates during the Euros. Apparently, they're going to put things up on the screens, like explaining the decisions. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. You have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right was the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as VV Vlad currently has. This player started their career at FC Metz. They went to Lyon. They went from Lyon to Roma. They went from Roma to Juventus. They went from Juventus to Barcelona. At Barcelona, they went on loan to Besiktas. And then they left Barcelona to Sharjah FC. So, Metz, Lyon, Roma, Juventus, Barcelona, Besiktas on loan, Sharjah. Who is the player? Lots of you have got it now, but who got it first? Yeah, we're not Argentina, but we've got John McGinn. I'm Robbo on the wing. He's done it again. We've had the GOAT of Guess the Gooner and the GOAT of Guess the Non-Gooner taking their crowns. It's Sportcat. It's Pjanic. And there you go. Congratulations to Sportcat. Ryan Henderson was second. Yoel was third. Francisco Oliveira was 4th, and Dis Too Nice was 5th. So there you go. He's done it again. He has done it again. Fair play. Fair play to Sportcat. He is unrivaled when it comes to Guess the Non-Gooner. Yeah, if you were lower down than you thought, then it's your internet. It is your internet. You did a non-English team, Guess the Non-Gooner, as I asked yesterday, and I didn't have a bloody chance. Yeah, I literally did do it because you asked for it yesterday. So there you go. Have you seen Astrid Wett's video? It's awful. I've seen her music video, yeah. Did anyone else finish exams today? I think quite a few people finished. I know some people have still got some exams next week. If you finished exams today, the day that Euro 2024 starts, that is sensation. That is one hell of a Friday. That is one hell of a Friday. Can we do a quiz that you can't Google the answer for, please? I mean, it's very difficult to do. Like, Google has the answer to most things, right? It's very difficult to do a quiz that you can't use Google for. Do you watch Suits? I've watched all of Suits, yeah. It's coming back, right? Suits is coming back, but I have watched all of it. Should officials be mic'd up in the league? Yes. Yes. You should. In fact, within the game, really, but at a minimum, straight after the game, you should be able to hear the entire conversation that the referee, the VAR, the fourth official, the linesman, the conversations they had during the game, you should be able to hear the entire conversation, not edited, not cut out, not put into a nicely packaged show with Howard Webb where they just let you listen to the bits that make them sound good. You should be able to listen to all of it. Transparency is the key. Is Suits the one with the lady who married into the royal family? Yeah, Meghan Markle. Yeah. She had a great character. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the live stream. I'm going to be back in 20, 25 minutes, something like that, over on Tifo for the watch along of the Euros. If you're not joining that, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back. I'm not going to be on here tomorrow or on Sunday. I'm going home to see my parents this weekend. It's Father's Day, obviously. So there won't be a stream tomorrow night or Sunday night. So if you're not joining Tifo or Twitch, which I'll be on later on, I will catch you on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Click like and subscribe before you leave, and goodbye.